This, my friends, is what we in the industry call a basket case. This is another one of those lovely Pentium 4 systems that is actually a Pentium 4. And yes, I do have the side panel. It just doesn't stick because the screws are missing. But it's one of these really cheap, nasty. This one's not as bad as most of them, but it's still not exactly a high quality case. Sold as is for entirely way too much money. I think they should have paid me $9.99 to take this. Well, that broke quite nicely. But yeah, this is standard fare for ports. And I think these are actually internal ports. And it looks like they might not even be broken, which is pretty nice. This is probably the original optical drive, 24 speed, and then this DVD-ROM would have been added afterwards. I've never seen a DVD-ROM with that style faceplate. I don't think this is the original motherboard, because there is that right there, which I believe that shows a full-size ATX board, whereas this is just a micro ATX. If we take a look here, yeah, that's just a micro ATX. There's no RAM in this. You know, there's a bunch of blown capacitors, so I don't hold out much hope of this actually functioning. That video card, somebody has put a video card in here that does not have a bracket, which is good. I'm sure that's very good for it. It's out of an IBM, apparently. It is an NVIDIA card. Probably nothing great. I can't tell what motherboard is this. P4V8X-MX. Probably not unlike the P4V8X-X boards that I've got. Just in a micro ATX form factor. More blown caps there. This power supply probably puts out 350 milliamps. And not much else. Oh, Kia. I think UXW Bill actually found one of these and debunked the myth about what rating the actual power supply was, but yeah, I'm sure that's made out of tinfoil. I don't think, yeah, this is not an LED fan. It does actually look like it works, so it's not too bad, I suppose. There's the optical drives, the floppy drive, and the only reason why I picked this up at all is because it's got the hard drive. I have no idea what size it is, because I can't really tell what it says on it. So, I'm going to find some RAM. This is probably just standard DDR. It looks like it's just standard DDR. I'll find some RAM, and I'm going to fire it up pretty much as is, and see what it does. Because, well, if it blows up, then the video will probably go viral. And if it doesn't blow up, well then I'll get to experiment and see what this happens to be. So I'll be right back, thanks to the magic of video editing. Okay, I found a 1 gig stick, which it's probably almost certainly not going to like. Got it plugged in, let's see what it does. Oh, hasn't blown up yet. Oh, that was the reset switch. I think it's dead. Well, that's not really much of a surprise. As I suspected, this featherweight piece of crap does absolutely nothing at all. I don't even get a 5-volt standby LED on the motherboard out of it. So I swapped it out for this featherweight piece of crap, which is probably slightly more honestly specified, not by much. But it's a slight improvement. Let's see what it does now. I still have no standby LED, though. So, I wonder if I'm plugging in the wrong cable. That's probably more like what we're doing here. Let me give this another try. Okay, that's only slightly embarrassing. I have a green standby LED now. It tries. but it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's actually really doing anything. I've got a red LED for some reason. I don't know if... Yeah, it looks like somebody might have hooked something up backwards. Let me pull that video card and see what we get out of it. Okay, pull the video card. NVIDIA Vanta 16. Nope, that's junk. So, let's see what it does now. Probably nothing different, if I've got to be honest. Is that plugged into the right? Yeah. No, the power LED is plugged in wrong. I got the flashes on that, but that seems to be as far as it goes. So, I wonder if it just doesn't like that RAM. We'll do some experimentation, I suppose. If it doesn't blow up in my face. Well, I've unplugged pretty much everything that I can. Exception of the motherboard itself, and I get no life out of it. So I'm gonna just call it blitzed. I am gonna plug the original power supply into it just to see what happens. Just because, I mean, I don't know, maybe I can regain some monetary value out of that power supply. It's pretty worthless, but you know, maybe as a test bench power supply it'd be okay, but the motherboard is no good, so. Okay, back to this thing. So we've determined that the motherboard in the case is bad. This, what is this, P4S, or P4X, or P4V, there we go, yeah, P4V8X-MX. Doesn't work. I have no life out of it. Doesn't really matter, I've tried different RAM sticks, so it's pretty much done like dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out. I did also determine that this Okia switching power supply, which is rated for 350 watts, but in reality it probably only puts out about 100 watts, and even that might be generous. It does still work. It will power the machine up, and seems to be stable while doing so. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a problem in it that would kill a motherboard, but it does at the very least power on, so it might be good for somebody for a bench testing power supply. So I might try and recoup some cost in that. This case is junk. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. It is junk. But I'm going to keep it for now. And I'm going to keep it as is. I will fix this cover situation because... or maybe I'll just leave it alone. I don't know, since I'm probably not going to keep the case long term, I'll probably just leave it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and gut this case, and we'll put a different motherboard in here. Alright, I think I have changed my mind about reusing this case. So if we take a look, you can see, oh, there's 3 screws. I thought there were only 2. But there are 3 screws in this entire case, holding this motherboard in place. And I don't know if that's contributed to the problems, but it might have. So I don't know who put this together, but clearly they had no idea what they were doing. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this board out, see if I can rearrange the standoffs into a more appropriate arrangement. And, well, actually, I guess I'll see how many are actually in the case, period. And then I'll go ahead and I'll rearrange stuff. And we'll see where we go from there. Okay, I'm going to about face on reusing this case. Because, let's take a look here. Underneath this board, there are no standoffs installed in this entire thing. And you're probably looking at this thinking, oh, well, these are kind of raised a little bit. But, no, there's supposed to be standoffs. This does not sit in here properly without standoffs. So you might have noticed And in fact, that's probably why there are no screws in the upper part of the case. So I'm going to completely strip this down, and I'm going to get rid of everything that's useful that's in it. I think there's a PC speaker in it somewhere. I'll probably drag that out, but the rest of this case is useless to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'll use the hard drive. That'll be how I link these two projects together. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it into this process case with this motherboard. This is an Asus MEW that I've had for a little while. Haven't done anything with. I don't know if it works. We're going to find out together. Can't be any worse than that one, though. So, I think it's just got some crappy Celeron on it. Probably won't boot whatever's on that drive, but we'll give it a try anyway and see what happens. Okay, I think I've got everything installed in the case. I've got the speaker plugged into that plug over there, which is for an internal speaker, which this camera will not focus on for some reason. But I don't know if I'm going to leave it there because that's only a piezo beeper, but I'm kind of curious if that'll actually work. And the other thing I think that might be a problem is the front panel power LED is a 2-pin connector, and I think this requires a 3-pin, but I'll try it anyway. We'll see what happens. I just got to install a power supply, and then I'll probably plug in that optical drive and see if it functions, and from there we'll see. We'll go ahead and I'll shank some more parts out of that and see if I can get something that actually functions out of the whole deal. I got the power supply installed. I was getting ready to fire it up. So I guess that's the point that we're at now. I've plugged in the optical drive. So I'll get a chance to test that. It probably doesn't work. At least that's my anticipation. But I'm going to get over there and get it plugged in and hope that it doesn't go bang. Because I don't know how much more excitement I can take for one night. Let's see if this works. Is this monitor even on? I don't think the monitor's on. So, got to turn that on. Step 1. See if this blows up. Do I have a green standby? I don't even have a green standby LED. So that's great. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, I got it. But I don't think it's actually functioning. And we got exactly the same problem that we did with the last one. It's just not doing anything. Well, that's kind of stupid. I'm not surprised. Ouch. Looks like my LED's not working. I don't know why this piece of crap keeps defaulting to digital. It shouldn't. I'll try pulling the RAM out, but I don't know if that's going to really help. I kind of doubt it. Okay. I finally found a combination that worked. This is a... what is this? Like a P4S 800 or something? I can't even tell where it would say on the board. But, it is functioning after I redid the thermal compound situation because it was getting up to like 62 degrees. Even though it's freezing out here, so I don't really understand why it was getting up to 62 degrees. But what we're going to do, I'm going to have to put those slot covers back, because I think this board is fully integrated. I think it's got Ethernet and everything. Yeah, it's got Ethernet and audio and all that, and video. And we're just going to leave it at that. And I'm going to go ahead and get the hard drive, and we'll install the hard drive in here from the other system, see what happens. Wow, it's only a 6.4 gig drive. Ouch. I would have thought I'd have something better than that, but evidently not. Let's see if it boots into anything. Celeron 2.5 on this. No. Press a key to reboot. I don't know what that means. So, I guess we'll never know what's on this. Unless there happens to be, and that's probably not useful. I think this is just an ultimate boot CD, and I'm not really in much of a mood to deal with that right now. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and just put a different drive in here. I could use this in another project. But that was a pain to get in there, so I may just leave it alone. Because, like I said, yeah, that was a real pain to get that drive in there, so I don't think I'm going to pull it out. I think it's going to stay in there now. So, I guess that's it. I don't have anything else to share with you, so thanks for watching. Both a computer build and an overview of a basket case linked together with the hard drive. And I think the cabling as well. I think the cables came out of that too. But, yeah. A worthless computer becomes another worthless computer, I guess you could say. This is a Postscript. I did go ahead and change the drive. I guess this is probably more on the other extreme, 60 gigs. Probably a little bit much for a socket 478, but we'll go for that. There's nothing on the drive anyway, so you can see it just does the same thing. But there was one other thing that I forgot to do. Here's the board out of the basket case. What I wanted to do is I wanted to see what I had for hardware. Now this is my RAM stick because this did not have any RAM originally. So at least I assume that this is my RAM. Yeah, that's something that I put on there. So not that interesting, but let's take a look at what we have for a CPU. Now, this is going to take two hands, and it might actually break, because I hate these. These are brittle. And that's usually what they do, is they do nothing but break. I managed to get it off of there without breaking it. So, I'm kind of curious what that chip is. There's like about 3 different kinds of thermal compound on this. What I want to see is what this is. Is anything good? That says Celeron on it, so good it's not. Let's see, what is this? Looks like a Celeron 2.93. Ooh, it's a Celeron D. I don't think I've seen one of those in a socket 478. That's kind of interesting. 533 FSB. I almost wonder if it would work on that P4S board. Not that I'm going to take that apart again. Because, well, that wouldn't be easier. It at least doesn't have this dumb, stupid plastic cradle thing on it that I hate. It's got the metal one, which actually tends to work, but yeah. There you go. Now you know what this was.